This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. How did police miss a body at a crime scene? Body discovered after two officers were shot at a party. Prime Minister Davis says more work needed to deal with gun trafficking in the Caribbean and the crisis in Haiti. And reaction to comments the Prime Minister made about bad foods in the country. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up. It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, July 4th, 2023. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be here on a Tuesday morning. Also this morning, all week long, we'll be looking at issues that are uniquely Bahamian in the lead up to the 50th anniversary of independence. And today we're going to be talking about the capital of the Bahamas. Should Nassau continue to be the capital? We're going to look at the pros and the cons. Then later in business, we're talking with Easy Car Sales. They're launching a new electric vehicle brand, JAC. They've got a special event coming up. We'll talk to them about all of that. That's all straight ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, a man's bullet-ridden body discovered at the same location where two off-duty police officers were shot and injured. That happened on Sunday night. They found his body yesterday morning. Mona Lisa Johnson, who was at the scene, identified the man as her brother, 34-year-old Gareth Pyfrom. The officers were attacked at a pool party on Marshall Road around 11 p.m. Police believe Pyfrom was shot dead around the same time the officers were shot, but investigators somehow failed to discover his body. Police say they will be speaking to the officers today to get a clearer understanding of what exactly happened at that party. The injured officers, who were guests at the pool party, said they heard gunshots and went to investigate it and were confronted by the suspects who opened fire on them. Both officers received gunshot injuries to their arms and were taken to the hospital, where they were listed in stable condition. Police say the suspects fled the area in a small silver Japanese vehicle. Mona Lisa Johnson, who lives in the area, discovered the body around 8 a.m. as the police actually say that someone discovered the body around 8 a.m. Asked how investigating officers missed the body. Police say it was a crowded event. Close to some 200 to 300 people were at that scene. As Caribbean leaders celebrated 50 years of the establishment of CARICOM, Prime Minister Philip Davis and outgoing CARICOM chairman saying that there remains work to be done to strengthen security in the region and find a solution to the ongoing crisis in Haiti. He said they must forge ahead to meet the commitments of their declaration. Prime Minister speaking at the 45th regular meeting of CARICOM heads of government in Trinidad and Tobago yesterday. He said our nations and our people cannot afford any less than resolute action in recognition of the deep and devastating impact which the trafficking of illegal firearms in the United States has had on violent crime in our countries. And SuperValue owner Rupert Roberts says that the government should outline what items being sold in food stores in this country are banned in other countries and ensure that customs personnel do not allow such products in the country. Roberts, contacted by the Nassau Guardian, asked his thoughts on Prime Minister Philip Davis's recent expressions of concern in Parliament that too many goods are imported into the country that are unhealthy and banned in other jurisdictions. Roberts said, quote, "We would not carry an item that we know was banned in other jurisdictions. We have no idea what he was referring to. Customs should be aware of it. Try to control it. We don't know one item he could be referring to." And a man who allegedly went on a rape and robbery spree while on bail for murder and armed robbery has had his bail revoked. Shantino Roll was on bail for the February 22, 2018 murder of David Nelson, who was shot dead during the armed robbery of Gulfstream Foods, a seafood processing plant on Fire Trail Road. At the time, he was accused of a crime spree that began on May 2nd and ended on May 13th. Prosecutors allege that Roll helped another man rape a 31-year-old man on May 2nd. Prosecutors allege that Roll's accomplice made the man perform a sex act at gunpoint in bushes off Carmichael Road. Roll was also accused of robbing the man of an Alcatel phone and threatening to kill him. Prosecutors further allege that Roll and another man allegedly abducted a 31-year-old woman at gunpoint before taking her to the well fields. Roll is said to have raped the woman on May 4th and raped her again on May 5th. He's also accused of threatening to kill the woman and robbing her of her vehicle and cash. On May 13th, Roll and another man were accused of forcing a 38-year-old woman into their car as she walked along Bacardi Road. They allegedly took the woman into bushes where she was tied up, raped, and threatened with death. Additionally, the man allegedly robbed the woman of $4,045 and a Samsung Galaxy Note 12 valued at $1,500. Roll was remanded to prison on those charges on May 22nd. Prosecutors applied to have Roll's bail revoked for the 2018 cases. Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson granted the application last week. Overseas, Hong Kong's leader is saying today that 8 pro-democracy activists who now live in the United States, Britain, and Canada and Australia will be pursued for life for alleged national security offenses, dismissing criticism that the move to have them arrested was a dangerous precedent. Chief Executive John Lee expressing his support for the police efforts to arrest the 8. At his weekly media briefing, Lee said anyone, including their friends and relatives, who offered information leading to their arrests would be eligible for the bounties offered by the police. He said the only way to end their destiny of being an abscondee who will be pursued for life is to surrender. The arrest warrants were issued for former pro-democracy lawmakers Nathan Law, Ted Hui, and Dennis Kwok. Among others, they're accused of breaching the Beijing-imposed national security law by committing offenses such as collusion with foreign powers and inciting secession. More than 260 people have been arrested under the law enacted in 2020 as part of a broad crackdown on dissent in the territory. But the rewards of 1 million Hong Kong dollars, about $127,600 for information leading to each arrest, were the first under the law. That move quickly drawing ire from the U.S. and British governments, which took issue with the extraterritorial application of the security law. The U.S. said it marked a dangerous precedent that threatened human rights. And the Australian foreign minister tweeted that her country was deeply concerned by reports of Hong Kong authorities issuing arrest warrants for democracy advocates. In sports, track and field getting underway at the 24th edition of the CAC Games. In El Salvador, water polo, beach soccer, and equestrian kicked off on Sunday to decathletes Ken Mullings and Kendrick Thompson were first up on the track for the Bahamas in the decathlon. After 3 events, Mullings and Thompson are third and fourth, respectively, with 2,533 points and 2,516. In the 100 meters, Mullings placing third overall when he powered his way at 10.69 seconds to score 931 points. Thompson was right behind Mullings in a time of 10.72, scoring 924 points. You can read about how else they did in today's Guardian Sports section. And you've probably heard it by now, the NFL Flag Football Nation expanding to the Caribbean, starting with the Bahamas. Following this big announcement last month, NFL Flag Bahamas will host its very first Flag Football Clinic Tuesday, July 11th at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. The camp will be for both youth and adult participants to showcase their skills and agility tests. The camp will be separated into 3 parts throughout the day: player testing, expert coaching clinic, and competition. The NFL Flag Football Skills Camp will be held by Phoebe Schechter, NFL Flag Football Global Ambassador, and first international woman to coach in the NFL. More on this in today's Guardian Sports section. And from Wimbledon, as Venus Williams entered center court for her 24th Wimbledon appearance at age 43, greeted by standing ovation, she held a green exercise band over her head with both hands and stretched it while striding to her sideline seat. But once her first-round match against Elena Svitolina began, Williams played like a throwback version of herself. She quickly was a point from 3-0 lead on Monday. Moving forward, Williams slipped on the green grass. Her right foot gave way. She collapsed to the ground, shrieked and clutched her right knee, which already was covered by a beige sleeve. Williams twice was treated by a trainer, but she kept playing but could not manage to overcome Svitolina and lost in a 6-4, 6-3 defeat. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather brought to you by Nescafe Coffee. We've got low-level troughing across the northwest Bahamas. That's going to keep shower chances elevated. Meanwhile, surface high pressure will maintain high temperatures and light to fresh breezes over the islands. Mariners and beachgoers should be alert for possible water spout activity. Localized flooding in low-lying and flood-prone areas is possible during heavy or prolonged rainfall events, especially in areas already inundated with water, and there are lots of those areas. And everybody, again, should remain hydrated and limit extended outdoor activities due to the high heat indices that we're expecting again in the triple digits. For today, forecast for the northwest and central Bahamas: partly sunny, hot, and humid with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Mainly fair and warm at night with a stray shower or two. For boaters, expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Wind southeast to south at 10 knots or less, falling light and variable at times in the northwest Bahamas. East to southeast at 10 to 15 in the central Bahamas, but also falling light and variable at times. Seas 3 feet or less in the northwestern islands, 2 to 4 feet in the central Bahamas. For the southeast Bahamas, mostly sunny, hot, and a bit breezy today, with a few possible showers and thunderstorms. Partly cloudy and warm at night with isolated showers and a few possible thunderstorms. Small craft operators should exercise caution. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Winds east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet. Temperatures today getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like it's 105 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and look at the tropics coming up after traffic in just a bit. Weather brought to you by Nescafe Coffee. Elevate your coffee experience with Nescafe Gold. It is time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Alive believes loyalty is not without its rewards. We're offering you a summer full of deals to say thanks for sticking with us. Enjoy free roaming, free data, cash back, and more incredible deals. With the certified fastest network in the country and top-rated service, Alive gives you something worth holding on to. Hold on to the best in the business. Alive. Believe, invest. Terms and conditions apply.
My business couldn't survive without my credit card machine from Fidelity. It's fast, convenient, and my clients love it. My sales increased, and I can track my earnings. Get your credit card machine from Fidelity today. Call 356-7764.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
A lot of folks are wondering, what is the Agrarian Awards? It's an award show to celebrate the people who produce the food that feeds the country. So September 16th, we're giving out trophies and money to young farmers, backyard farmers, sheep runners, goat herders, pea pickers, onion planters, basically everyone. But we couldn't fit all that on the invite, so we put Agrarian Awards instead. Go to adobahamas.org to find out how to nominate your favorite agrarian. The Agrarian Awards, September 16th.
You could win your share of $1,000 and free annual memberships when you apply for your Mobile Assist Visa Travel Rewards Card. It's a prepaid Visa that gives you access to travel and online shopping deals worldwide every single day. Enter automatically when you successfully apply through our Mobile Assist app. Use your prepaid Visa 5 times or more, and you are automatically entered to win your share of $1,000. See our social media pages for more details. Apply, save, and win with Mobile Assist.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can also tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Laverne Gardner. Laverne, good morning.
Morning. How are you?
Doing well. Great to have you with us on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Appreciate it. A lot to talk about this morning. Later in the show, as we are on the road to celebrating the 50th anniversary of independence here, we're going to be throughout the week looking at some uniquely, and maybe even beyond that, over the next few months, uniquely Bahamian issues that we need to address and or should consider addressing. We're going to be looking at those. Today we talk about whether Nassau should continue to be the capital. And it's not a new concept. Some have talked about it in depth before, but maybe time has come. And before the 100th anniversary of independence, should we have a new capital here? And what would that mean for Nassau and other places in the country? We'll talk about that this morning. Later in business, we're going to be talking with Easy Car Sales. They've got a new electric vehicle brand, JAC, that they're selling now, and we're going to find out more about that and about a special event they have coming up in a few days. So that's all straight ahead, but let's begin with what else is in the news. And in the news, we told you about this yesterday's breaking news. The two police officers off duty who were shot while at a party. And so apparently somebody else got shot at that event. Maybe that's what the police went to investigate. They say that they heard gunshots and went to investigate and were confronted by the gunman and they were shot. Well, yesterday morning, somebody discovered the body of a man who's been identified as 34-year-old Gareth Pyfram by his relatives. And, so this is very, very sad. And so now police are trying to figure out how they missed this. They're claiming there were hundreds of people at the event. But, many hours later when this body was discovered. So our condolences to the family, but we hope we do get a clearer picture of what exactly happened here. Boy. All right. So yesterday, the NASA Guardian carried this story yesterday, and we didn't talk about it on the show. We talked about BPL and we got into the independent celebrations. Just didn't have the time. And I thought it was a little odd. Something was odd about it. I just felt that way. Later in the day, I'm hearing it more and more, and I'm hearing the Prime Minister speak. I'm like, wait a minute, what is he saying? What is he saying? Because there's some things that are a little off here. I want you to take a listen to this. This is what we ran yesterday about this. And then we're going to talk. And I see now that there is a response, and this is not related to why I want to talk about this. But Rupert Roberts is also asking the same questions from Super Value. What is the Prime Minister talking about here? And he's coming at it from a different position than I am. But Laverne, take a listen to this from our Paige McCartney.
While defending his government's plan to promote healthier lifestyle choices through a planned sugar tax, Prime Minister Philip Davis last week also expressed concern about the number of products banned abroad, which are being sold in grocery stores in the Bahamas. He said it's why his government is seeking to ensure food safety.
We, as a country, may have been dumped upon by goods, foods that are not healthy to us. You go into stores and you'll see some items that are designed, say, for export only, coming from jurisdictions. They don't allow it to be sold in their jurisdictions, but they're allowed to be made and exported. See those goods, right? And there are a number of things, quite apart from the sugary, there are a lot of other products. Hence, we are developing and we are shoring up the BASFA, the Food and Safety Authority, to give them more powers. And we want to sensitize the Customs Department that, quite apart from collecting our revenue, they also have the responsibility of protecting what comes into our country. You go in some of these stores now, you still see them selling Roundup, that spray that they use to kill bugs and weeds. they're selling those. And they are banned in many places.
Minister for Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville, echoed that point.
We have food items coming into the country that what is in the container is not a representation of what's on the label. We have items coming into the country are known to be carcinogens that are actually incorporated in certain foods that are banned in many states in the United States. We have made it very clear that the public health issue and the factors associated with the public health is of an urgent matter.
Still, F&M MP for East Grand Bahama, Kwesi Thompson, suggested government pause movement on that Customs Management Amendment Bill 2023, which was tabled with various budget documents in May until public consultation can be completed. That bill empowers the Minister of Finance, after consultation with the Ministry of Health, to make regulations providing for payment of a health and wellness levy on specific imported goods and domestically produced goods deemed to be negative for the public's health. Davis reiterated, though, that the sugar tax will not be implemented in this budget cycle.
I know that you all don't trust us. I asked the Bahamian people to trust me. They heard what I had to say, right? And they could judge me by that. They could judge me by what I say and what I will do. I said that there'll be no tax in the cycle. There's likely not to be one in the second cycle, but this is going to give us the tool to enable us, right, to protect our people, right, from the predatories and the dumping. Right? And so there's no revenue in here that's protected from it, and will not be right now. It's definitely not going to be now. Let them trust me. The Bahamian trust me. It's a matter of trust.
Okay, our page, McCartney, with that report there. I am, the more I hear it, the more confused I am by the things being said. Where to begin? All right, so many years ago, when this show first started, there were lots of concerns about these for export-only products on the shelves. It came up a lot, and we did shows on it, and the media was focused on this. And the government had to issue a statement. You know what? This is going back to 2014, so within a couple years of us coming on the air. The government at the time, do you know who the government was, Laverne?
When did you say?
2014.
2014. That was in the Progressive Liberal Party.
It was. And I believe that Philip Davis was a member of the cabinet. But anyway, I think he was the deputy prime minister, actually. But in 2014, October 2014, the other paper, the Tribune, ran this story, and we did shows on this as well. The Tribune did the story. A cabinet minister yesterday pledged that the government would not allow food unfit for consumption to enter the Bahamas, adding that products labeled export only were done so purely for tax purposes. Speaking at a National Quality Infrastructure Forum, V. Alfred Gray, Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources, said it was a challenge for governments to monitor all the food products consumed in their respective countries. Gray said, quote, "It's always a challenge, but the Bahamas government is firm and resolute to ensure that all of the foods consumed in the Bahamas are of top quality. The establishment of the Standards Bureau will go a long way to ensuring that those things that we offer for sale or consumption will be of the highest quality. The Bahamas government will not allow anything in our country that is not fit for human consumption to be sold to the Bahamian people." Mr. Gray said products labeled export only were treated so for tax purposes and were not reflective of the goods' quality. He explained, quote, "In the United States, there is a tax regime which requires those people who are producing for export to claim certain exemptions. If they claim those exemptions, they would have to label the product not for sale in the U.S. so it doesn't end up on the shelves in the U.S., which would be subject to tax. That's the only reason. That's the only reason for such a label. I don't think that it's fair to the Bahamian people. It's not fair to the government of the Bahamas and the United States. We believe that the U.S. standards, which comparatively speaking is one of the best in the world, ought not to be subjected to such criticism that is unfounded. Most of what we do in the Bahamas and around the Caribbean are measured by the U.S. standard. The USDA is the one agency of the U.S. government that is international, and they basically set the standard for all other agencies to follow. So the cabinet minister, the Minister of Agriculture at the time, under the Christie administration, about 10 years ago, said it was unfair for people to say that for export only is of low quality and that it's only tax purposes. And that's what they said 10 years ago. What's changed now? And if you feel that something should be banned, who's stopping you from banning it? Prime Minister, what's happening here? Am I confused? This government can't ban a product from coming into the country?
Absolutely can.
So what is the point of this whole discussion? What was that about? What was going on there? What am I missing?
Because they want to demonstrate that they are concerned and making an effort to protect our health, that we, become more health conscious.
No. Why put that out there that there's stuff that's causing cancer on the shelves being sold here and that we can't do anything about it? And then have the nerve to say, trust us? But every other day it's something different. I'm very confused. I need someone to clear it up for me. And
maybe they'd all just recently watch. The videos come on Instagram that show foods that are sold in the U.S. but banned in other countries. Maybe they all watch that.
This is what they've been telling us for 10 years, that export only, don't watch nothing. That's just for tax purposes. It's safe.
But a lot of it, because when it was kind of the talk, everybody was talking about export only. I began to do some reading and researching, and the reason, yes, is for tax purposes. It just depends. But like all the reading that I was doing, it wasn't saying that it was of a lesser quality. So like you said, to come now and say this, it comes out of left field. Like I said, maybe it's just a situation where they're looking at certain goods, regardless of whether it says for export only or not. Maybe they're just looking at some, because Dr. Darville alluded to it, said it, that there are some foods that have carcinogens and other dangerous or known to cause cancer products that are still being sold, right?
Okay.
And so maybe their focus is that those things.
So don't mix the two up.
Don't
do that. That's very dangerous.
Okay. Well, the Prime Minister
things
used that example, but Dr. Darville, the clip that you played, he focused on that other part, that some products have ingredients that are just, dangerous.
Yeah. If you feel that way, ban the thing. What are you doing? What are you waiting for? If you feel that way, but you wouldn't do that because people would be shocked at all the things that would likely cause cancer. There'd be very few things on the shelves. But don't mix this up with that other story that you're going to cause confusion and cause a lot of stress for a lot of people.
Now people are going to go back to debating, it's for export only.
Yeah. I don't know who's advising the Prime Minister, but those people are clueless and dangerous. Clueless and dangerous. All right, so I'm not the only one who was left scratching my head, and I have no hair, so that means I'm doing damage to my scalp. Rupert Roberts also responding to this in today's National Guardian. Candy Ames writing about this. Super Value owner Rupert Roberts said yesterday the government should outline what items being sold in food stores in the Bahamas are banned in other countries and ensure that customs personnel do not allow such products in the country. Well, that's only if they're banned here, right? So you got to ban them first. Just because they're banned in other countries, you need to decide. This is your country. Decide which ones are banned here. I don't understand this type of talk.
We gotta have the list. You gotta have a list first.
There's a whole lot of cars driving around here that are not allowed in tons of countries, but we just allow any old garbage in here. Well, why is that? Anyway, let me continue to read the story. All right. Robert says, quote, we would not carry an item that we know was banned in some other jurisdiction. We have no idea what he was referring to. Customs should be aware of it to try to control it. We don't know one item he could be referring to. Now, Roberts noted that the government is accepting customs duty and value-added tax on imported items. That's exactly why they don't ban anything. That's me saying that. As members of the House of Assembly went through the various government budget heads last week, the Prime Minister said, quote, we as a country have been dumped upon by goods that are not healthy to us. We go into stores and you see items that say, yeah, that we just heard that. Okay. These are... Boy. Now, asked yesterday about the items on store shelves marked for export only, Robert said that this has nothing to do with the quality of the items, but is intended to prevent product diversion. Specialty Food Association, a non-for-profit membership-based trade association, explained that diversion is the practice in which merchandise intended for a particular distribution channel is shifted to be sold in another without the knowledge or permission of the primary vendor. Now, what is this? Okay. It is a growing concern for the specialty food trade and industries overall, according to SFA, Specialty Food Association. Now, Robert says that some items, for example, have an export price and a separate domestic price. He said, quote, a lot of companies have this export. They export to the world a lot of times for a lot less than they sell in the United States. So, for example, the export market on Wesson oil is $5 a case less now. That gives me the opportunity to order 10 containers of Wesson oil, and it's consigned to the Bahamas. They send it with a shipping company. I intercept it in our Florida warehouse and sell it in Florida. That would be diverting if he did that. It didn't go to the intended buyer. He noted that Wesson Oil's manufacturers do not put for export only on their product, but some companies do for certain products. He said, when we order, we don't know what it's going to be labeled. We don't know that it's going to be labeled for export only, and no way of knowing. It just appears for export only. And we always just think it's to avoid diverting. Diverting is a multi-billion-dollar thing in the United States food industry. All right, so tax purposes and to avoid perhaps fraud.
So the overarching sentiment is that it doesn't have to do with quality. It's more the business side of the food.
Yeah.
Tax purposes, whatever. So that seems to be the reasoning, the most prevailing or dominant reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is again. Why are we bringing this up? And saying we're using that as an example, marked export only.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister did use Roundup, which he said is banned, and because it costs so much. But again, we can sell it here because there's no list, or that isn't on the list of banned substances.
And by the way, Roundup is not banned in the U.S. yet. It doesn't appear to be so.
So if someone selling Roundup who maybe isn't doing the kind of research that they need to do, who isn't paying attention to what has happened in the various lawsuits in the U.S. because of it.
But it's still not banned in the U.S. Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they can still sell it because it isn't banned here.
It isn't banned here.
Right?
Right.
All
what are you doing?
Environmental health didn't say anything that you can't be sold here. So
I'm very disturbed. Why are you speaking like this?
It's like, don't give the impression as if things are being sold here that shouldn't be sold, like almost like it's smuggled in.
Right.
Kind of way.
But again, why are you acting so weak?
No
if you have a problem with something, ban the thing. Ban the thing. Why aren't you doing that? This is shocking. All right, the phone lines are all lit up. I have a feeling, anyway. Let's have a sensible conversation, folks. Because, you know what's going to happen. It's the PLP operative is going to be all trying to curse us out. But speak like you have sense today, for God's sake, okay? We're talking about something here that is bizarre. Why are we having this type of dialogue? What is that about? Caller, good morning. What say you?
Morning, how you doing?
Doing well.
I'm going to speak with sense, according to you. When you said the media brought this up, I think a couple of years ago or something?
10.
Did the media put out the list of food that they were talking about?
What list? Why?
No, you're saying the government should put out a list of the food.
No, I didn't say that. I said if the Prime Minister has an issue,
yeah, I understand that. But did the media obviously have the issue too because they brought it up?
Everybody brought it up. Weren't you worried what for export only meant?
I'm worried, but I'm saying to you.
And the minister. You're deflecting here. Why are you doing this?
I'm not
The minister at the
deflecting.
time said it was for tax purposes. Everybody agreed that it was for tax purposes. They said it was absolutely nothing to do with the quality. What list are you talking about? You want a list of everything that says for export only?
Yes, the list. Because the media obviously had a problem with it too. Okay? And the last thing
Laverne, do you understand what she's saying? Because I don't understand what she's saying. What is she talking about?
You're Translate not understanding me.
No, I can't. What's happening here is the media just spoke about a story that was already out there. Concern was why are products coming here? Some products coming here export only. The government at the time went in and explained that. So there was no need to put a list. They were just explaining.
Go in the store, man. Come on, what you talking about? We don't have time for foolishness.
Saying,
good Lord.
If there are products that are dangerous that we should not have, then give us the list so that the retailers, people who are maybe bringing these in, will not bring it in or ban them.
Just walk through any aisle of the supermarket, lady, and you will see for export only. Everything. Yeah, okay. It's longer than any paper could print, I'm sure. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight, and good morning to your co-host, Ciara Johnson.
Hi.
Dwight, this conversation actually goes back to Larry Cartwright from the F&M 207 administration, and when they came up with the standards and the photosanitary and etc. But the list of products and the reason for their labeling as being export only is available from the U.S. government, so you could know exactly why. It could be in relations to food that it doesn't meet, certain additives they may add, ingredients, processing, or other things in the United States. For as far as other goods and services, it could be from safety concerns. It's a list of things they usually actually define as the reasons why those products or components are not approved for use in the U.S. market, so they're rarely available. The only way those things can enter the Bahamas is because we have not taken and established any standards that would actually prohibit the shipment of those particular goods carrying certain UPC codes, etc., from entering into the Bahamas. So it's us who have not created that standard. But the reason why this came up in a conversation in the House of Assembly was when the Prime Minister was being challenged as to why they were trying to pass the sugar bill. At least that's what I call it. And they were simply saying they were passing it for the sake of passing it, but there will be no implementation of it as a form of taxation to limit it. And so soon as the conversation went on, it became very convoluted and conflated as to what means this and what means that and why we're doing this and why we're doing that. And it was just simply to get the bill to pass. I think it was a sugar bill or something where they was going to tax sugar, and that's where this arises from. And so I think this is just more confusion, convolution, conflation, and lack of direction by leadership of our country. Thank you so much.
Okay, all right. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Are you there?
Hey, what's up? Good morning, Ben. Morning.
Good morning.
The easiest thing to do if you have something that's harmful to your society would be to ban it, eh?
You would think.
That would be the easiest thing to do. So it seems to me this government is just looking for another excuse to tax people. Because there are some people who can pay the tax. There are some people who will pay the tax. So if you're that concerned about your society, just ban it.
Well, I mean, I don't understand what you're saying. It would tax what?
The sugary tax, or this items with for export only.
Okay, see, that's the thing. These are so different. These are very different issues. I don't understand why they were mixed up in the same breath, right? So I get what they're doing, and sugar tax, I'm not opposed to it. Not opposed to it at all. But these other things that were mentioned, they had no business being mentioned at all, and you're going to cause confusion, and distrust, mistrust, all these things. Why? It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, as it is right now, I'm already confused because now I'm thinking about the sugary tax on these export only. I'm thinking about, to me, it sounds like they're talking about one and the same thing.
Yeah.
So now you saying it's a separate item. So now I think, the whole thing is now confused me. So now you asking me to trust you. So why are you trying to confuse the public and then you asking us to trust you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that really don't make much sense. But in either event, if there's something that's bad for your public or for your society, ban it. That's all about it.
As simple as that. It really is. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Were you just puzzled when you see things on the shelf? Like, why is this being sold here? What, you could do something about it.
Right. So, like the caller said, and like you also said, let's not confuse those things that are labeled export only with those things that perhaps would incur the sugar tax or, whatever we're calling it, right? So let's not confuse that, because there may be some stuff that doesn't fall under that sugar tax thing, but it says export only. Mm-hmm. I think really if we want to stay clear, and I know this doesn't sound right, is perhaps we should not focus on what the Prime Minister said.
In this instance or always?
In this instance.
Oh, okay.
And maybe instead, let's focus on what Dr. Dabo was speaking to, that there are products that are being sold that are, and you know what? I'm not even going to say that, because when you say products that are being sold, it makes it seem as if it's the retailer. It's the retailer who's, like doing something wrong. So let's focus on the fact that there are products that are currently available in the country that we consume that contains additives, preservatives, have certain ingredients that have proven over the years to cause cancer, to cause other diseases or issues that simply we should not be consuming. And so now let's focus maybe on creating a list, yes, I said it, of those things, and then saying, hey, these products, because the danger to your health, are going to be banned.
Hey,
and let's just leave that other part, because then it gets confusing. And so we don't want to get back now, rehash and get back into that debate of why does it say export only? Why doesn't it? Blah, 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 and so forth.
Now, see, you actually just added something to that introduces more complexity to this, because even though there are products that potentially could over time and with misuse and overuse cause you to have some health issues, should it necessarily be banned? Should you not use it less frequently? Should you not, right? But does it require it to be banned? And that's a whole other story and a whole other show.
Right.
Those are the things that they want to put a sugar tax on, because, these things are dangerous. We're trying to limit your use of this. But that doesn't mean that it should be banned. And so this is what we're talking about. What is the Prime Minister talking about exactly? What needs to be banned? And why mention these other things in this same sentence? And again, if you do feel it should be banned, why haven't you done it? All of this is bizarre. Let's take this call really quickly, and then we have to take a break. Caller, good morning. Very quick, please. Are you there? Are you there? Oh, my God. Seriously. Latreille Rabbing, Fred Mitchell, the PLPs, control your minions. This is insanity. Dave is banned. We don't want to hear from him. All he does is call people's names and potentially get us sued. We don't want to take on that liability. Please get through to him that we cannot deal with that. And he makes it personal. I knew it because I said it earlier. I said if we talk about this because the people cannot hear because the party colors are so blinding that they are... Anyway. Every day. This is really mature. This is who they attract. Let's take a break. When we come, I got a whole lot of your text messages, and then we're going to talk about moving the capital. And I would hope the party people would all move to the new capital, wherever it be, so Nassau could be free from them. Is that possible? Anyway, all that coming up in our next hour. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Jiminy is the gateway, Bahamas. 1492, Columbus landed. 1973, we were free. From Nassau to Inagua, Bahamas. From Freeport to McWarner, Bahamas. Tourists love our country, Bahamas. 700 islands, Bahamas.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. 5 dead, 2 wounded in Philadelphia after a gunman opened fire, say police. The AP's Jennifer King.
Philadelphia police say a gunman wearing a bulletproof vest opened fire on Monday night. The suspect was arrested. Police said the shooting appeared to be random.
Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw said at a news conference last night that the gunman had an AR-type rifle, multiple magazines, a handgun, and a police scanner.
Thank God our officers were here on scene. They responded as quickly as they did. They showed I can't even describe the level of bravery and courage that was shown.
She was heard there on WPVI TV. Some of the millions of Americans who are celebrating Independence Day today may get rained on. Severe thunderstorms forecast for the upper Midwest and central Great Plains beginning late in the afternoon. President Putin claims the Russian people are united as never before. He spoke this morning in the wake of a short-lived armed rebellion that rattled Russia. I'm Rita Foley.
Got your first look at traffic brought to you by RBC. Get in gear with an RBC auto loan. Here's what's happening. We've got a lot of streets that are flooded this morning, so keep that in mind as you make your way about flooded and the new potholes as well. So be careful out there. Independence Drive is one of those. Heavy flooding there, and that is causing traffic to be backed up between the roundabouts. That's East Street and Blue Hill Road, westbound. You're going to be seeing that, and good luck to you there. Blue Hill Road also busy northbound, heading to that roundabout with Independence Drive. Further west, we've got Milo Butler Highway just around Harold Pond. You see the heavy traffic for you northbound to Tonic Rooms Darling Highway. Glass Road also busy this morning northbound to JFK Drive. Those are your hot spots right now. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Your first look at traffic brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/gear up for an RBC auto loan. Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 at BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796 on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC. And now at 8:20, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance and by the Bahamas Games. Here's what's happening. We've got low-level troughing across the northwest Bahamas. That's going to keep shower chances elevated. Meanwhile, surface high pressure will maintain high temperatures and light to fresh breezes over the islands. So for today, for the northwest and central Bahamas, look for partly sunny, hot, and humid conditions with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Mainly fair and warm at night with a stray shower or two possible. Boaters should be alert for possible waterspout activity and expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Localized flooding in low-lying and flood-prone areas also possible during heavy or prolonged rainfall events. For the southeast Bahamas, mostly sunny, hot, and a bit breezy today with a few possible showers and thunderstorms. Partly cloudy and warm at night with isolated showers and a few possible thunderstorms. Smallcraft operators should exercise caution. Temperatures today getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. But the heat index will be in the triple digits again at 105 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. And so everybody's being advised to limit outdoor activities, remain hydrated, and look out for those triple-digit heat indices today. So overnight lows tonight getting down about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. In your extended outlook, low-level troughing over the northwest Bahamas will continue to support shower activity come Wednesday, and a mid-level pulse will further enhance shower activity over the central and northwest Bahamas by Thursday. So for tomorrow, Wednesday, partly cloudy, very warm, scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms, a bit breezy in the southeast Bahamas. Thursday, partly cloudy, very warm, breezy, with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms mainly in the northwest and central Bahamas. The tropics are quiet. Tropical cyclone formation not expected during the next 7 days. That is your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First. Visit firstonlineinsurance.com and select a Bahamas First agent to purchase, pay, or renew your car or home insurance 100% online, or just stop by any Bahamas First agent. Bahamas First, celebrating 40 years as the first Bahamian general insurance company. What's first for you comes first for us. And by the Bahamas Games. The Bahamas Games are coming. Which island are you repping? July 7th through 15th. For more information, call 322-1029 or follow the Bahamas Games on social media at Bahama Games. 8:23, time for another check of your traffic for this morning. Again, the streets are wet, some are flooded still, and we've got some issues out there, like Independence Drive, heavy flooding and traffic, both directions now, west and eastbound. The flooding is mainly on the westbound side, heading toward Blue Hill Road. So keep that in mind if you're there. Blue Hill Road also busy for you northbound from Carmichael, and especially Soldier Road straight up to that roundabout with Independence Drive. Carmichael looking busy for you eastbound to Blue Hill Road at this hour. Mile Butler Highway, heavy traffic from Fire Trail straight up to Tonic Blooms Darling Highway in the northbound lanes. And Glaston Road also busy for you just north of Fire Trail straight up to JFK Drive. JFK is going to be seeing some heavy traffic right now, westbound between Harold Road, Tonic Blooms Darling Highway, and the roundabout with Glaston Road and Bahamar Boulevard, westbound mainly. Even backed up a little bit along Lake Cunningham eastbound. So keep that in mind if you're in that part of the island. You might want to find an alternate route if you have to be somewhere soon. Elsewhere, we've got Robinson Road busy between Soldier and Old Trail westbound. Soldier Road looking busy for you north of that intersection, heading up to Wolf Village and Bernard Road. And then pockets along Prince Charles Drive at the major intersections. West Bay Street, a bit busy for you eastbound near Saunders Beach as you approach the roundabout with New Providence Highway. Those are your hotspots right now. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/gear up for an RBC auto loan.
That's the sound of your horn. Get in gear with an auto loan. RBC makes it easy to get your own.
Get in gear with an RBC auto loan with up to 100% financing, extended repayment, and low interest rates. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/gear up. Conditions apply.
That's the sound of your car or truck. That's the sound of your horn. Get in gear with an auto loan. RBC makes it easy to get your own.
Girl, why you so sweaty?
Charlotte getting ready for the Bahamas Games.
Bahamas Games? What that is?
The Games started in 1989 under the then Minister of Sports, Peter J. Bethel, and now Minister Mario Boleg.
When the Games is?
This July 7th to the 15th.
For more info,
go to www.thebahamasgames.org
or call 322-1029.
On the road to 50 years of independence, cross the finish line in an electric ride. Easy Car Sales invites you to take back your independence and free yourself from expensive gas and repairs. This Saturday, immerse yourself in our lineup of fully electric vehicles and experience the power, luxury, and advanced features on your own personal test drive. July 8th at the Mullet Marathon. You'll quickly discover why the Bahamas is dumping the pump. Visit easy242.com or call us to find out more.
Total Auto Care on Howard Road offers fast, quality auto maintenance at the very best prices. Tune-ups, oil changes, brakes, suspension, wheel alignments, radiators, water pump replacements, and more. Need quality brand name tires for your vehicle? Tires that'll stand up to these roads? No worries. We supply Michelin, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Pirelli, and Toyo. We'll import them fast and install them for you at no extra cost. So when your car needs maintenance or quality tires, we're on Howard Road, just before Burger King. Come see us. Total Auto Care. Call us at 341-6599 or 341-2350.
The B3As will host the 2023 National Track and Field Championship, July 5th through 7th. Who will have bragging rights when it's all said and done? Stephen Gardner, Women's Javelin, NCAA Champion, Remo Altamont, or Carifta record holder, Kimera Strawn, Women's 100 meters, Andronique Strawn, or Anthea Charlton, just to name a few. Mark the date, July 5th through 7th, the B3As 2023 National Track and Field Championships at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. It's track and field at its best.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you want to go scuba diving on your vacation, don't bedazzle your wetsuit. And you think you look great, but what you don't realize is that you look like a shiny, scaly fish. And it won't take long for a shark to notice you. Next thing you know, you're busting out every karate move you got. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance and get airlifted out to the closest hospital.
Get coverage for emergency evacuations. CG Atlantic Medical and Life Insurance. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
With over 25 years in business, nothing says commitment to our people, culture, and service like Rev. And this year is no different. We will continue to elevate your home experience for you to create and share memories for years to come, while keeping you connected to the people and things you love most. Our pledge to provide quality service each year remains true. Rev is made for you.
The B3As will host the 2023 National Track and Field Championship, July 5th through 7th. Who will have bragging rights when it's all said and done? Stephen Gardner, Women's Javelin, NCAA Champion, Remo Altamont, or Carifta record holder, Kimera Strawn, Women's 100 meters, Andronique Strawn, or Anthea Charlton, just to name a few. Mark the date, July 5th through 7th, the B3As 2023 National Track and Field Championship at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. It's track and field at its best.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
Indulge in an experience that awakens your senses with Nescafe Gold. Premium Arabica coffee beans, carefully selected, roasted to perfection, and finely ground, resulting in a unique and unmatched flavor and aroma that captivates the senses. Enticing aroma, smooth taste. Elevate your coffee experience with Nescafe Gold.
Visage in Margaritaville, downtown Nassau presents Fish Fry Friday, the Soca and Old School edition, Friday, July 14th, from 6:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. at the 12 Old Bar, Margaritaville, downtown Nassau. It's all of your favorite old school classics and the new school soca, performed live by Visage alongside DJ AI, taking you back. $25 cover charge with 1 free Ron Ricardo drink with entry. And for $55, you can experience the Fish Fry Friday buffet at Vacation Cafe before the event and enjoy complimentary access. It's the Fish Fry Friday Soca and Old School Edition. Friday, July 14th, 6:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. at 12 Old Bar, Margaritaville, downtown Nassau. This is one you don't want to miss. Don't meet me there, speak me there.
To jump around. We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's pension plan, Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's pension plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's pension plan, Island Game, we got you. Percy's pension plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, come play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Nassau is the capital, Bahamas. Bimini is the gateway, Bahamas. 1492, Columbus landed. 1973, we were free. From Nassau to Inagua, Bahamas. From Freeport to Niguana, Bahamas. Tourists love our country, Bahamas.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, along with Laverne Gardner on this Tuesday morning. Happy Independence, happy 4th of July to our American friends. And hope you enjoy your day. Ours is coming. Don't forget, you need to pick up today's Nassau Guardian. You need to pick up the Guardian every day, but especially today and tomorrow and Thursday. 3 very special supplements are in the paper. Today, it's a special, this is for you, Laverne. Grand Bahama supplement is in there today. A lot of great information about Grand Bahama over these 50 years and the challenges the island faces right now. So that's in today's Nassau Guardian. Got to pick that up to see that. It's really looks quite special. So can't wait to read it. All right. So coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking again. We're all week long. We're looking at uniquely Bahamian issues, and we're going to examine the concept of moving the capital. Is it time? Has Nassau outlived? How do I put this? Is it time to consider moving the capital away from Nassau and focusing on some other things for Nassau, but a purpose-built capital? That's coming up in a few minutes. We're going to look at what other countries are doing and how this might benefit us here and what it could mean for a Freeport and Nassau in terms of growth for both and other places. Right? So that's coming up. But right now, we'll just get through what we were talking about earlier. We're trying to figure out what the Prime Minister was talking about when he said there are banned items that are on sale here in the country, and we're trying to figure out if he has an issue with these items, why doesn't the government ban them? But many people don't know what he's talking about, including Rupert Roberts, who was responding. And it all mixed up in this, for some reason, was the export-only label on some products, which he was suggesting that means that they are of subpar quality, which We've been told for years that's not the case. It's for tax purposes. And Rupert Roberts introduced another issue to avoid almost fraud, basically. But so why was all this lumped together? And it's very bizarre. All right, so we'll take this call, but I really want to get to the text messages. We didn't get to any of those yet. Let's quickly take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? Good morning. No. Okay. All right, let's get to the text messages. This person says here, Dwight, good morning. So why are customs allowing these banned goods to come to the country? And the PM is saying, trust me, but trust must be verified. Well, they're not banned for this country if they are banned, which we don't know if they are, but that's the thing. They're not banned. Right? But ban them if you have a problem with them. And you better have a good reason. But ban them if you feel they shouldn't be here. We can't do that? No? All right. This person says, I love how we have things documented when politicians come talking fool. Okay. This is a breath of fresh air. You finally see the light, Dwight? I don't understand what you're saying. I don't know what you mean. What does that mean? Okay. Dwight Laverne, what is fine for a company who imports unsafe or low-quality products? What is the fine for a company who imports unsafe or low-quality products? The what?
Do we have a list? I'm sorry.
I mean, what do we...
Do we have a list of unsafe or low-quality products?
Is there a fine?
Right. First of all,
and who's going to determine? Who's going to determine?
And second of all, is there a fine?
Right.
I'm sure there is a process, though. I'm sure there is a process between environmental and
the Standards Bureau.
Right. And the consumer protection.
Oof.
I'm sure there is a standard where, or there is a process of even just bringing in new products, right? Let's say if you wanted to bring in a new type of rice, maybe a new brand, I'm sure there must be a process. So, depending on where it's coming from, which country.
How sure are you?
I'm being 100% sure.
You should say, I hope.
Okay.
I hope.
So there is, there must be a process already in place, and so perhaps there is a fine, whether they bring it in and then they have to remove it off the shelf if environmental or whomever is made aware of it. But I don't know. I don't know what the fine is.
Okay, so let's be honest. Let's be truthful. Let's be serious, right? So we know the prices have skyrocketed.
What does that mean?
Which
what do you
part?
mean?
No, I'm
let's
saying.
Be honest. Let's be truthful.
Yes, prices skyrocketed, especially since the pandemic, and the products that people love have become extremely expensive. And we've heard this from retailers here. They've had to go seeking other products that they say are just as good, but these are brands that we are not familiar with, and they are selling them at a lower price, and they're telling us they're just as good. I don't know if they've been inspected or whether they've the Standards Bureau looks at them at all, but people are going to be buying with the price in mind, not the name of the product or any history of the product, because this is now affordable. And that's happened a lot. And if it weren't for that, plenty of people wouldn't have anything in their cupboards. So I agree with you. We need to do something. But prices for the things that people know about are not in reach any longer. And Rupert Roberts mentioned Western Oil a few weeks ago. What was $5 went up to $9, $10.
You can't afford Western Oil.
Right.
People just buying whatever oil.
It's like crude oil.
Whatever
I don't know what
kind
that
of
is.
oil is on the shelf that's affordable.
Exactly.
Because Western Oil prices, like you said, it's skyrocketed. So if they got Strachan oil, and Strachan oil is for $3 for a 32-ounce bottle, we're using Strachan oil.
Let me tell you something. Straw oil will be good for you. But anyway, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Hi.
Spark here, on this topic. Dwight, I could tell you something that I know for a fact because I was working. Growing up, I worked with different companies. And I can tell you for a fact, and I know many people know what Sparky said is the truth, because many people was working there where I was working. Where trailers will come off the dock, hook up to the truck, and pull into the yard of a company. And the custom officer follows the trailer and comes in the yard and just watch the fella snap the label. There's a seal on there. And the custom officer doesn't even watch the door be opened. The custom officer goes into the office where he gets a check. And also he gets a little something for himself. And jumps out in his car and leaves the premises. Not even watching one item come off the trailer. I've been working to a place one time where I went to Florida with the sales manager. The sales manager will go over to Florida and by instructions by the owner of the company or whatever else, or shareholders in the company, will pick up items, take those items to where they be loaded, and they'll take the items and put them up to the head of the trailer, and then go to the company where they order the stuff to bring to this company and put the stuff in the back of the items up in the front of the trailer. I'm talking about things like bedroom sets, like Frigidairs and stoves and tiles for floors in homes in Life and Key. They push them all up to the front of the trailer and put items what's supposed to be coming to this supermarket or business place to the back of the trailer. And when the custom officer snaps it, when he opened the trailer, he just see these items right at the door. He just touch one or two, and then he goes into the office and get his little thing for himself and go. And when those stuffs are unloaded, goes into the store. At night, the truck drivers come down and get the rest of the stuff from the trailer and take things down into Life and Key. I've seen marble tiles and stuff come out of trailers to go to Life and Key. I was with the truck drivers, watching them go down where people are building their homes in Life and Key.
Yeah, we've heard these stories. It's scary. I mean, it's a little bit different from what...
Dwight, I tell you the truth, I have been there. I've seen it.
Yeah.
And that was from way back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
That was back in the 70s that was going on. And I believe it's still going on today. Sometimes these trailers are unloaded to different big establishments, and things inside those trailers are not even on the invoice.
Mm. Yeah.
Home fixtures. One time, you remember back a whole car came in for a guy out of Life and Key.
Mm-hmm.
And he was only fined.
Yep. But quite a long history of corruption here. Not quite what we're talking about this morning, but yes, very serious issues have been going on for a long time, and people, and yet continue, as you say. Yeah, likely. Okay, more of your text messages before we move on. This person says here, the PLP government is playing with our emotions. Under our system, government can pass a law in 1 hour banning this or that without discussion. I believe this is another distraction. Yeah. And then they say, well, besides, Desmond Bannister revealed how this government is taxing us VAT twice on BPL bills. PLP has to go. What? Okay. We've been getting hit with VAT twice on everything, and under that government as well, and they did nothing to stop it or change it. So I really don't want to hear from the other ones either. But okay, everybody's messing with us. You're right. This one says here, these politicians must have known decades ago about these foods that are bad and should be banned for consumption. So why the sudden concern now, Prime Minister Davis? Too much confusion with this new day government. Lord, help us. Well, as Laverne and I are having side conversations, right? But if they do the things that are likely to be really problematic for you, that you eat a lot now, you won't be eating anything. All right? You won't be eating anything. There's some stuff that Bahamians love that they will fight for and say this is part of our culture. But they're terrible. They're terrible. And they probably should be banned. But you all will protest in the streets if anyone were to mention that. So be careful. Be careful what you ask for. This one says, the Prime Minister started off saying, I know you all don't trust us. This one says, I'm waiting on, okay, this is something else. I'm waiting on, okay, so it's two messages from the same person. With all the blatant incompetence this administration and all previous ones have demonstrated regarding good policies on the well-being of citizens, is nobody concerned about the increasing overreach the government is making? Who decides what is to be imported and based on what? Well, governments actually, Texter. Anyway, as Davis confirmed, we do not trust them, so unless he can prove he knows the word transparency, he might as well sit down and let his MPs finish blow up this road to 50. Wow. It's dark. And they're saying, I'm waiting on Monroe, I guess Wayne Monroe, to confirm or deny the bullets.
That's a lot.
Yeah, right? Deny the bullets in the body found ain't from those two able to have guns while off-duty police officers. I was wondering about that myself. They just had a party with their guns. Like, what is this, man? Seriously? Who? No, Laverne? What?
I don't know.
One.
I didn't hear whether they said like there was an exchange.
Yeah, they heard the gunshots and decided.
They heard the gunshots, but I didn't hear in the report that they exchanged fire. And well, I don't know if they kind of.
But they're at a party and heard the gunshots and looked at each other and say, "Hey, let's go!" And they ran out there to see what happened because they had the party with their guns, which they both knew they both had their guns. Anyway,
Did they have their guns? That's what I'm saying. Did I miss that? Did it say that they had their guns?
Well, I'm assuming. Wait, no, man. Wait, let's go back. Hold on. Because then why were you, should you run out if you don't have a gun? What are you going out there for?
Protect and serve. They wanted to see what was happening.
Oh, off duty in party attire.
Right. And then they heard, it's like, okay, was that gunshots we heard? Well, what's going on? And they kind of maybe, I don't know, walk or what. Oh, no, I don't, but the report didn't say they had their
That's
guns.
interesting.
So I don't want to introduce that and say
bizarre.
whatever.
That's bizarre.
And then go off on another.
Well, that's true. I just assumed they so brazenly ran out there. I said, you can't be unarmed going to war.
Again, did they brazenly run? Right? Did they brazenly run?
Preliminary reports indicate that shortly before 11 p.m., the officers were attending a pool party when they heard gunshots being discharged. Hence, they went to make inquiries and were confronted by the suspects who opened fire on them.
I don't hear brazen and I don't hear discharge their weapon.
I'm just going by past experience. Okay, maybe I just pictured something in my head and maybe I shouldn't have.
Right.
I bet you I'm not alone.
The next thing I know,
you all know I'm not alone, right?
Oh,
right.
Dwight, you got to be careful because the next thing I know, you're going to start talking about foods that are marketing. Export.
Okay.
You just can't be saying things just.
I mean,
random.
I guess I would if I guess that's why I'm not on the force. I don't know if I'd run towards where I heard bullets. I'd probably get on the phone and call some people to come with their guns. But would I go running where?
That's why you're not an officer.
Clearly not. I just think it's very strange. Why am I going to run? I hear bullets. Let's go. Like, okay. Those are good guys. Good guys. I'm waiting on. Yeah. Okay, let's skip that. Let's skip that one there. Okay. This person says, I owned a 2000 Ford Ranger. When I bought it in 2000, it had a sticker on it for export only. Today, that truck, I was offered $1,000 for it. Won't sell it for the world, I think they're saying. So it was a great car. Okay, all right, there you go. What concerns me is that we have products sold that all the writing on it is in Spanish and other languages. Texter, other languages, everything but English. I've seen that. Right? No, yes. No, those are issues to be concerned about. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust your eyes. Cookies are burnt, salty. This is a brand. This brand is too salty, and on and on. We need to create our own safety standards. I don't blame the Yanks. Wow, for taking advantage of us at all. Okay, I don't think that's what that's about, but sure. This one says here, we are in the manufacturing business. In order for our products to be exported into the USA, we are required to have an FDA number. This should happen with all food products that are imported. They should be required to be registered with the BSBQC. It's Bomb Standards Bureau. All right. Couple more messages. Loving the supplements in The Guardian. Thanks so much. I'm also thinking that this can be the start of actual books or docuseries, perhaps dissecting the journey using each ministry as a theme. Ministry. 50 years of culture and youth, 50 years of education, 50 years of social services, and so on. Your thoughts. Okay, interesting. Probably shouldn't have read that out loud. Now the others might try to run with it, but that's a good idea. Thank you. This one says here, I don't know what it says. BAHSFA, BAHSFA, is responsible for food, health, and safety. Standards Bureau is responsible for weights and measures. Oh, I see. The legislation for BAHSFA is relatively new. I think the Consumer Protection did mention that the last time they were on. It's relatively new. The regulations are not in place as yet, unless it was recently done. I agree. Ban the export-only items. It's about time. You agree with who? The PM or any member of parliament can bring that forth, but since he brought it up, he's responsible to follow through. Talk is cheap. Before the pandemic, we always used, I don't want to call these names, a certain type of disinfectant spray, but during the pandemic, when there was a shortage, we were introduced to another type. And in my opinion, I don't think it's as good as the other one. Okay.
And during the pandemic, Dwight, we were introduced to, I don't think that was a standard. I have never seen more of hand sanitizers. I've never heard of these brands. Listen.
It was wild.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was wild. It was quite something. If the police didn't
everybody was making hand sanitizer.
Yeah, that's true. If the police didn't do anything, then y'all be making an issue of that as well. You sure? Okay. This one says, "Are police officers never off?" I would not be surprised as a text if the officers had their guns at the party. Didn't the officer have his gun at the restaurant where the 70-year-old was shot to death? Yeah, we think he was moonlighting. We think that was slightly different. Not too sure. Let's take this call really quickly, then we've got to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Strachan.
Hi.
Yeah, I'd like to make a couple of comments. You know, it's a good thing if the officers were there moonlighting. It's just for safety and maybe just to make extra money. I don't want to knock them for that. But what I want to comment on is just some little knowledge here. You know, people have to realize that deception is a way to make money. During the scamdemic or whatever, right? What they have to realize is disinfectants are very simple. You could go online. You could have used hydrogen peroxide that basically no virus or bacteria lives in it at all. Lime, just simple as lime. And also vinegar. So I wasn't moved by all of these expensive upgrades in the prices of alcohol but the price of the disinfectant Lysol went up to like $15, $18. That was just a financial construct. But what I wanted to comment on was considering the complicity of the Food and Drug Administration as far as export items only. I wouldn't swear for the food products, but I bought a 350 flatbed truck from America at one time, right, Dwight? And I remember going to the insurance company to get some kind of clearance. But the reason why they say for export only is for the vehicles is for you to avoid paying certain taxes, right? That's all it is for. I don't know why, but the person's paying. You understand? It's a vehicle. So I remember going, I can't remember, it's a Spanish company, but you pay something, you get a certain paperwork, because I bought it from a white guy. It didn't really matter, but I know that for sure I shipped it to G&G. And if I didn't do that, then I would incur other taxes that I didn't have to necessarily pay because it's going of the country, out of the country. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I keep explaining that to people. They could go and check it with themselves, Dwight.
Yeah, this is what we're saying,
It has
right?
nothing to do with quality.
We don't know why the Prime Minister said that. That's why we're all
But I'm glad somebody knew it. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And I think that was very, very dangerous and problematic. Okay, let's take a break. We'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
It's been 35 years since Custom Computers was founded, and we'd like to celebrate that milestone by thanking you, our clients and customers. You've inspired 35 years of expert service and support, partnering with the world's leading brands like HP, Apple, and Microsoft. We take pride in setting the bar for what you expect and deserve from a homegrown Bahamian business. We're here to serve you when you need us, so call 396-1101. Custom Computers, raising the standard since 1987.
Total Auto Care on Howard Road offers fast, quality auto maintenance at the very best prices. Tune-ups, oil changes, brakes, suspension, wheel alignments, radiators, water pump replacements, and more. Need quality brand name tires for your vehicle, tires that'll stand up to these roads? No worries. We supply Michelin, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Pirelli, and Toyo. We'll import them fast and install them for you at no extra cost. So when your car needs maintenance or quality tires, we're on Howard Road, just before Burger King. Come see us. Total Auto Care. Call us at 341-6599 or 341-2350.
Shopping is so rewarding with my Fidelity credit card. I get the best prices with price protection. Earn and redeem freedom points at my favorite stores. Get cash back. Plus, I booked a cruise. Get your Fidelity credit card today. Call 356-7764.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Atlantic Insurance Agents and Brokers. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
It's back, the 35th annual Jeff Rogers Basketball Camp, July 17th to 28th, inside Kendall Isaacs Gym, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. for boys and girls 5 through 18. Sign up your child now at South Bahamas Seventh-day Adventist Office, Tonic Williams Highway, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's the Jeff Rogers Basketball Camp, July 17th to 28th at Kendall Isaacs Gym, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Special appearances by NBA stars, legends, and coaches. The 35th annual Jeff Rogers Basketball Camp, it's back.
Introducing Wendy's new Chimichurri Cheeseburger. Chimichurri. That's how you pronounce it. Let it roll off your tongue. Then get ready for some ridiculously good flavor. Fresh, herby, garlicky, green, chimichurri. It'll feel like a relaxing backyard get-together with friends on a Sunday. Put in a burger. Come meet Wendy's new Chimichurri Cheeseburger with our new Dave's Craft Lemonade. Wendy's, different inside and out.
When faced with an illness like cancer, we band together, and we at Cleveland Clinic in Florida have your back. From advanced cancer treatments to extra safety measures at all of our locations, we're with you on this journey for every infusion and follow-up, for every step of the way, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic in Florida. Get the care you need when and where you need it. To learn more or connect with a local representative, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
That's the sound of your car or truck. That's the sound of your horn. Get in gear with an auto loan. RBC makes it easy to get your own.
Get in gear with an RBC auto loan with up to 100% financing, extended repayment, and low interest rates. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/gear up. Conditions apply.
That's the sound of your car or truck. That's the sound of your horn. Get in gear with an auto loan. RBC makes it easy to get your own.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Valpo Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
The Bahamas Public Parks and Public Beaches Authority invites all private companies and civic organizations to adopt a roundabout. This is your chance to stand out from the crowd, beautify and enhance our local areas for residents and tourists alike, just in time for the 50th anniversary of our independence. With this opportunity, you can engage persons on the go, generate media interest, and promote your company. Stand out and celebrate 50. For more information, you can call 242-604-3750.
On the road to 50 years of independence, cross the finish line in an electric ride. Easy Car Sales invites you to take back your independence and free yourself from expensive gas and repairs. This Saturday, immerse yourself in our lineup of fully electric vehicles and experience the power, luxury, and advanced features on your own personal test drive. July 8th at the Mullet Marathon. You'll quickly discover why the Bahamas is dumping the pump. Visit easy242.com or call us to find out more.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
My Bahamas! Let's go! Look at the Bahamas, tell me what you see. A beautiful sunshine.
And we're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking with Easy Car Sales about their new brand of electric vehicles, JAC, that they're selling, and about a big event they have coming up. All right, so we're going to push back our discussion on whether it's time to consider a brand new capital for the Bahamas. I push it back a couple of days, but I want you to think about it while right? In the meantime, just think about it. Laverne, 50 years. What's one thing we haven't done? We've had no new towns, cities.
No.
We've not done that as an independent nation, right? And that is very strange to me. We've never done this. How is that possible? It's something we need to do. And so there are lots of countries around the world that are looking at their capital cities that are overcrowded, poorly maintained, bad infrastructure, and building a new purpose-built capital to relieve pressure on that city and to spread out the population. And I think we could solve a lot of issues if we did that. This is not a new concept. Many others have talked about it before. It's just deciding where to put it. We're not all going to agree on that one, but it would help maybe free up some real estate in New Providence, and I think it would definitely open some eyes then to the importance of local government for New Providence. People really get it then. But we do need to consider this. We're going to go in depth on this shortly. We've got a lot of interesting information for you to hear about, and what people have said in the past before. Alfred Sears used to talk about this a lot. And you'll hear about all the other countries where they are moving their capital or building new cities, and what that's going to do for the existing big city that is under threat and pressure. Right, so all of that. So look out for that discussion soon. We're going to have more of these type discussions as we on the road to 50 and after 50, as we look forward to the next 50, where we want to see ourselves in 20, 30, 40, 50 years. What should this Bahamas look like? All right? So that's going to come up. Keep you posted on that in a few days. We'll get to that. All right, so we're going to take a break for news. When we come back, we're talking about JAC and Easy Car Sales. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Let's go! Look at the Bahamas, tell me what you see. A beautiful sunshine sparkling in the sea. A country blessed through all its history. We pause to celebrate our golden jubilee. A nation built on hospitality. Our culture, our people.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, July 4th, 2023. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan, joined today by Laverne Gardner. And this morning, we're going to be talking about electric vehicles. And our friends from Easy Car Sales, they're back with us. They've got a new brand, JAC.
You got it.
JAC,
We are expanding the choices, the models, so that the Bahamas can truly go electric.
Okay, so you've heard it. That's Pia Farmer, and we've got Sean Grisette with us as well. Good morning.
Thanks so much for having me. It's all about independence, being having the freedom to choose.
Hey.
So, yeah, you could choose now BYD. Now we have JAC. You could hit the road with a jack.
Hey.
Not literally now.
So we've heard a lot about BYD. So I think people are familiar. They're all over the place now. But let's talk about JAC. What is JAC? This is also a Chinese brand?
It is because in reality, electric mobility is very far ahead in China as opposed to the rest of the world. In Europe, I've just been in Europe, there are a lot of electric vehicles, but they're not hardly exporting because people are buying them at such incredible rates.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
And the United States is starting now to pick up its
Right.
game, and
Right.
I'm sure will be great in due course, but they're not ready for prime time right now. So JAC is actually one of the top 5 companies, and they're a private company in China. And they've been in business since the early 2000s. They have not only consumer vehicles, we have an SUV, we have
Sedan.
But also, have you lost me? Oh, no,
Okay.
here we go.
Yeah, there we go.
So they have consumer vehicles, SUVs, sedans, but they also have commercial vehicles. And
Yes.
we're finding that businesses in the Bahamas are transitioning very quickly to electric
Oh,
mobility.
we're seeing a lot of that.
We
Definitely.
are. Yeah, we are, because imagine, what are your biggest expenses in a business?
Yeah.
Your energy and your transportation.
Mhm.
And many of them are going solar and then plugging in their electric fleet. So all those huge expenses start to really reduce dramatically.
Mhm.
We're talking 70% or so.
All right, so you've got it all covered with JAC. You've got commercial and private vehicles.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there are trucks, vans, passenger vans as well, smaller and larger trucks. So what we're trying to do is widen the choice for people to be able to say, I'm going to switch to electric, I'm going to make a difference, and I'm going to save a lot of money. That's what we're doing. And JAC is at a really good price point as well. So maybe more people will have an opportunity to adopt an electric vehicle.
Yes, in addition to what Pia mentioned, we're also bringing in a minivan that is a 7-seater. So think about the taxi areas, the touristic areas that would want something like this, to save on gas, save on fuel, and also to be good for the environment.
Right.
So we're just offering more options and giving people the freedom to choose. That's what it's all about, freedom to choose. You could choose your BYD, or you could choose your JAC for your personal life or your business.
And become independent from the gas station. I mean,
okay.
this is the whole theme, is independence from gas.
Right.
Let it go. Let it go.
There's no
because
longer an excuse.
driving electric is so much nicer, so much more pleasant, and so much more reliable and cheaper. So let gas go. Free yourself.
All right, so we're going to talk more about the ease and the benefits of electric in a bit, but I want to find out more about the actual brand. Okay, so you mentioned pickup trucks. Pickups are very popular.
Oh, yeah.
But this is an electric pickup.
It is for the first time ever with a range of 400 kilometers, which works out to be about 249 miles on a full charge. You charge it and you just drive. It's a wonderful pickup. It's a big pickup truck. It's a dual cab, so you can
Okay.
seat about 5 persons in there, and it is beautiful. We just got a shipment in. We're processing them right now, and hopefully very shortly we'll be able to offer them for test drive.
Because there are a whole lot of people who don't put anything in the bed. It's replaced the family vehicle. So this can replace your family vehicle.
Absolutely.
And you look like you're driving a truck. It is a
There
truck.
you go.
And you don't have to stop for gas.
Years ago, when we first introduced the Nissan Leaf. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
We had people. Oh, I really want an electric car, but I'm holding out for a truck, a pickup truck. My family pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's here.
But it's also good for work.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just cosmetic. It's a real truck.
Right.
Okay. So soon we will be having that available for test drives.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just arrived. And I hope there are some left because I have such a long list of people who want one that I'm not sure how many we're going to have.
We have it in electric blue. We have it in white, black, gray. So all the colors.
Do they have the creature comforts that people want? What can you tell us about
Of course, all of the technology, the Bluetooth, the Wi-Fi, the screens, all of them have the screens with the different apps. So they're all outfitted, with all the modern technical
Yes, we're not
features.
going back to the good old gauges and
Right.
things. Okay, we've moved on now.
All screens.
Yes.
So these are not stripper models. These are technology. You're driving technology on wheels, basically.
Exactly, because the vehicles are much simpler than gas or hybrids, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just an electric motor powered by a battery that you can charge from anything, from solar power to the grid, and there are 1,000 parts that are usually in a regular traditional car that are not in these electric cars. You don't need them. Okay, so there's no muffler, there's no old-fashioned transmission,
Engine.
Spark plugs, all that other stuff. So the energy and innovation is put into new technology in these vehicles. So I think
What
you
is
would be
the-
very pleased.
Laverne? Mm-hmm.
Sorry, yeah. What is the battery life of the
Hey,
electric
Laverne, how are you
vehicle?
doing?
I'm excellent.
I'm a big fan.
Yes, and I appreciate that. So I wanted to know the battery life because currently I drive a hybrid, right?
Oh boy!
And I also
no!
wanted to
Sorry
put
for you.
out there that,
Oh, get rid of that quickly. Get rid of it quickly. Yeah. Well, these all come.
testing of the vehicle in Grand Bahama. I am available, but go ahead. What's the battery life?
We've been to Grand Bahama several times.
Yes, and we're coming back. We're coming back.
So, all right. So the batteries, everybody's always talking about the batteries, and especially because they're experienced with hybrid vehicles, where the battery is not necessarily made for the life of the vehicle. In fully electric vehicles, the batteries are now designed to take up to 5,000 charges in their lifetime. Okay. So if you charge a battery 5,000 times at 200 miles every time, it gives you a very, very long range. I don't know if it's
It's close to 1 million kilometers or miles.
Kilometers, let's say
yeah.
kilometers. So the batteries nowadays are built for the life of the vehicle. BYD batteries are warranted for 8 years. JAC batteries are warranted for 5 years, which is more the industry norm, 5 years.
Yeah.
These batteries, you can expect to have them in your vehicle for as long as you own the vehicle. They are no longer required to be changed. That was in the early days when batteries only lasted like 100 kilometers.
The technology's advanced.
And the technologies were much older.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you can expect your battery to be for the life of the vehicle. So in the same way as when you buy a gas car, you don't say, oh, what is the engine going to cost me to change in
How long is that
15
going to last?
years, or how long it's going to last? It's
No,
not really
not a
relevant
consideration.
anymore with
No.
electric vehicles.
Okay, because I know, there are 2 batteries with this hybrid that I have.
Well, that's the point. Hybrid.
You've already gone
What
through
is gonna
2
cost
batteries?
If I have to change the main one, first of all, I need to be saving for that for a couple of years because that isn't something that you could just go and, you guys know. It's like thousands of dollars. Then
Yeah.
I have also the regular battery, right? But the other
Oh, you
one,
mean the little
main
12-volt
one,
battery? Yeah.
right? I have
Yeah,
that.
well, that's
and
Laverne. You
as
see, that's
well as
why.
the other one.
Yeah, that's why we don't sell hybrids.
Right.
We have made the leap. We used to sell a bunch of gas cars, used ones, that is. We have made the leap. We haven't, from gas directly to electric. We have not sold the hybrids because of the problems and the issues that people are experiencing with hybrids.
Also because, a hybrid, now what you're doing is you're still going to the gas station, number A. You are maintaining a combustion engine with all that entails, and now you're maintaining the electric motor, and you're maintaining the communication between those two drivetrains. And so it's very complicated, it's very expensive, and it's not necessary because electric cars go 250 miles minimum, 300 and more as well in different models. And we live in islands where that range anxiety does not exist. And so why are you compromising along the way? It's so much cleaner, so much cheaper, so much easier to just go electric, and that is our philosophy. And this is why we only sell now 100% electric vehicles.
The hybrid is the worst of both worlds, not the best, the worst. It's not even a compromise.
All right, so we've got a lot of questions.
You guys are talking. I don't even want to drive my car.
That's why I say you have a nice aunt or a cousin.
No, the thing about it is, I have to say that the hybrids are sold to you based on a little bit of fear. Okay, so fear of letting go of gas, fear of letting go of what you know, fear that you're going to get stuck because you're not going to have power in your electric car. I mean, that's ridiculous. I've been driving
on this island,
7 years. I never ran out of energy anywhere at any time because you have a clear marking of how much energy you have.
Right.
So you're responsible. You don't go around running out of gas.
And in addition to that, I leave home on a full battery because I charge at home. So there's no longer that fear of, you got to leave. I wonder if this car is on E, you're late for whatever. Every time you leave your home, because you just drive home, at the end of your day, you park it, you plug it while you recharge, the car is recharging. So in the morning, you get it ready for work, you go.
And I only charge once a week. I don't do every night.
I want to ask you about that.
How is charging at home? How does that impact your electricity?
I would like to address that. Did you want to take a break, or should I?
No. I wanted you to talk more about that and answer Laverne's question, and then we'll get to how often you need to charge.
All right. Okay. So you're going to the gas station now, and you're paying something like $5.50 per gallon of gas. I think it's around there.
Yeah.
It goes up and down. Your electricity to charge a car. So a gallon of gas will take you 20 to 25 miles. Okay, that's generally the range on this island because you're stuck
Unless
in
you
traffic.
drive a guzzler.
All right, well, it could be worse and it could be a little bit
yeah.
better. But let's say it's 20 to 25 miles that you get out of $5.50. To go that same distance in electricity, plugging in at home 2 BPL at their new rates, is $1.50.
There you go.
We calculate that because of kilowatts that you need to run the car and how many miles you're going to do.
Yeah.
So $1.50 to go the same distance as a gallon of gas at $5.50. You are saving immediately $4 for every gallon of gas that you, instead of using gasoline, use electricity. It's much cleaner. It's much more efficient.
And most of our customers, they say, they only see a $30 or $40 bump on their light bill because it's all based on
a month,
a month versus a 200 or 300 gas bill.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
paying
you got to
$50 a week.
Right. So you have to calculate how much you spend. If you spend $200 a month on gas out of your pocket, you're going to spend less than $50 on electricity.
Wow.
And that $150 goes to something else more important than gasoline.
Freedom.
And I have to tell you, every time you put gas in that car, what they don't tell you is more than half of that gas you just paid for is wasted as hot air as the combustion engine burns.
Noise pollution.
The gas. More than 50%. So when you spend those $50, 25 of those dollars are going up in smoke.
Well, okay, so you said it earlier, PA, that you were charging once a week. Sean, you're doing that as well?
Because my vehicle goes about 340 miles on a full charge. And don't tell Pia, but I also charge at work. So I only charge like once a week.
So this is the question.
Yeah.
So you all have been very gracious to me. I've test driven quite a few of your vehicles, and I got to keep one for almost a week, and I didn't have to charge that at all. It was full, and by the time I returned it to you all, it was just saying, now you need to charge. But it went almost an entire week.
A whole week, yeah.
Is that recommended, or should you charge it more frequently?
No, that's normal.
That's normal.
fine.
That's normal.
And normally they say when it's down to about a quarter to a third is the ideal time to plug it in
To
again.
recharge, yeah.
But I have let it go all the way down to
me
like
too.
5%. And other times I've topped it up at a higher. It doesn't matter.
They're built for that sort of thing, for that variation.
But usually the best time to charge is when it's at a quarter to a third. But when I had a gas car, I never went to the gas station. I always ran on faith and fuel. I was always so stressed, All that has gone away. I don't worry about that anymore.
Right.
And then, Laverne, your maintenance bill, not having to have your oil change, your spark plugs every 3 months, this huge bill for maintenance, that goes away. People think I'm lying when I say all I do to maintain my electric car is windshield wiper fluid, and tires. That's all it has been for the past 8 years.
So no, once a year, of course, it comes.
Well,
in for a
we bring it in for a checkup.
We don't even call it a service.
No.
We call it a checkup.
There's nothing to service.
We plug the car into a laptop that has a diagnostic tool, and it just tells you all the
we
things.
gotta
There's no
beg
more
people to
guessing.
bring them in.
Yeah. So it simplifies your life, and in a very stressful life, where we're trying to juggle so many things, that's one less thing to worry about and more money in your pocket.
All right, lots of great questions coming in on our text line.
Available to text.
Come to Nassau. I told you, Laverne, you come to Nassau, I will pick you up from the airport.
You all aren't
Pick you
opening a
up.
dealership in Grand Bahama yet?
Laverne, you want to help us with that?
Well, we're actually doing a trip around the islands this year. We've just been to Eleuthera for the Bahamas Business Outlook in April, and we brought our electric vehicles. We do have a few already in Eleuthera that people have bought and taken to Eleuthera. So we've started to build a little bit of a community there and contacts. And also we want to train people to support the electric vehicle in the islands. So we are starting to travel through the islands. There's so much work to do, everywhere. But slowly but surely, we want to cover the Bahamas.
All right, so this is my question. So you mentioned it. In New Providence, you won't have that range anxiety. There'll always be a place you can plug in. But if you are in a bigger island like where Laverne is, Grand Bahama or Eleuthera, and there's lots of space between the settlements, and you need to travel, with the infrastructure the way it is, should you be concerned? Does that matter?
No. First of all, when we went to Eleuthera, we were driving the 2 electric cars all through the week that we were there. And we had access to a home charger from one of our clients because there is no public infrastructure as such yet.
Right.
But that is part of what we're working on in connection with people in the different islands is about locating fast chargers in different locations. Now, I know that the government is working with the IDB to formulate rules, regulations, incentives, and so forth.
This government?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes,
Okay.
very active.
Oh, yes.
Very active with the IDB because they're working with the solar up in Grand Bahama and in Abaco, for which the IDB has given large loans or grants. I'm not sure the financial thing, but they are doing solar in these islands. And as part of that, electric mobility comes along because once you have solar, you can just plug into the solar and run your electric vehicle for cents a gallon. It's just cents. It's 38 cents or something a gallon. So they're working with our administration to set rules, regulations, incentives, and so on. And we look forward to some announcements in that regard in due course. And one of it is the infrastructure. Because everywhere, whether you go to Europe or have just been, or here, or anywhere, the infrastructure is key. This is why with every one of our vehicles, you get a charger included that you plug it, that you set up at home or at work or whatever. But some people don't have the facility to plug in at
if
home.
you live in apartments or what do
condos
you
and stuff
do?
like that.
Right. So we do need to improve the infrastructure for fast charging across the islands.
Yeah,
But
and we started, when we started with the Leaf, we started to deploy free chargers out throughout the island. I think there's about 19 of them throughout New Providence. And now as we get to critical mass, as electric cars increase, the next logical step is a fast charge or DC charging network, and that is something that we're looking at.
And the current administration has now started to adopt electric vehicles, so they have started installing chargers as well. So it's a chicken and the egg, what first, what second, we're trying to grow it all very quickly. We're keeping up with the rest of the world, you know, in terms of percentages of new cars, except for Norway.
I was going to say, except for Norway, but we might be higher than most. You don't think?
No, we're around the 10% of electric vehicles out of new car sales.
Yeah.
And the world
we may be better
now,
than Jamaica.
The world now is about 10, 11%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right in
And it made a huge leap. I think it's around 11. But of course, in Norway, it's like 80% of all new cars are now electric.
Wow.
I think it's around 50 in China, 50% or more.
Oh, boy. All right, so we'll get to the other text message in just a bit. I want to ask, I see people are saying this, they're concerned. The streets are flooded, there are potholes everywhere. Can your electric vehicle take the wear and tear that cars see in this country?
Well, right now, there are about 500 electric cars running on these same flooded roads. I mean, I just drove here in mine. And understand this, that these cars are used all over the world, snowy conditions, rainy conditions. But the batteries are fully encased, they're fully waterproof. Okay, so there's no issue with that. And so there's no fear of driving through standing water. They get
rain
or none of that stuff.
I know that people think electricity and water, but they're kept completely, isolated. And nobody, go Google it, who has died from being electrocuted by an electric vehicle while driving it? Zero. Okay.
I mean, you're holding a phone with a battery in it. I mean, are you afraid of getting shocked?
And they don't get stuck either. When you see the cars stuck on the road and the puddles, it's because the water is coming in through the
exhaust
tailpipe, and we don't have that. So in many cases, we've seen videos of electric cars like almost, swimming along water while the other cars die. So, but it isn't a crazy question. The first time I drove my electric car, because it was probably one of the first ones that were on the island, I asked myself that. And I said, right, but it can't kill you because they're all over the world. So you don't have that fear of electrocution or fires is the other thing. There's a lot of resistance to the new technology, There's a lot of investment already in the old technology of the combustion engine. There were a lot of interest in the gas business, So they're not going to just sit there and not say anything. So you hear these stories about, cars exploding or whatever. All I've seen is gas cars exploding, not electric vehicles. Again, nobody has died from an explosion in an electric vehicle. But last year, 400 people died in the United States from fires in gas cars. So I think we should take them off the road as quickly as possible.
Oh, boy.
And that's why, there's we want to combat that fear. That's why we're going to have these cars at the mall, trying to keep us on track. This Saturday, you can come to the mall at Marathon. You could touch them, feel them, look at them,
These will be
and
the
even
JACs.
test drive them.
JACs.
We'll have all of our models,
We'll have
most of the models there, the JACs, as well as a few BYDs. And if you've not driven or test driven an electric car, this is a fantastic opportunity for you to come down to the mall and test drive, ask your questions.
You're able to test drive too.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
And you know what? We laugh sometimes because we hear these comments about electricity and fires and stuff. And we laugh because, we've heard it before. But there are no silly questions. Please ask all your questions and get the real information. Get the facts. And the facts will prove to you what the better way is to drive.
And visit our website, easy242.com. We have information on all the vehicles. We have information on all the questions. There's a video about what is an electric car that addresses a lot of those concerns. easy242.com.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So we've got a lot of text messages, but we've got calls too. You want to take some calls?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? You want to take the other one? Let's take that one. Okay. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How are you?
Doing well.
Always exciting to hear the representatives from Easy Car Sales.
Thank you.
Good morning to you guys.
Good morning.
Two very interesting questions I have here. Firstly, as far as the batteries are concerned, are there any incidences where, since a car has been introduced to the island, that the batteries had to be exchanged out for any reason, whether malfunction or whether whether they just may perhaps even went through water, but like you said, water does not affect them like floods and stuff. So you had any issues with the batteries themselves, and in fact, even if the batteries had to be changed, is there a life expectancy for the car, or what is the situation with that? And then my last question is, do you guys do financing? Like, I have a car, I want to trade it in. Would you guys stand in between the bank and us to get and the consumer to refinance a car, probably trade in a car to get an electric car? Because I'm interested in one now.
Good. Come on to the mall. Come on down.
Thanks for taking my call, Dwight.
Thank you.
Do you mind if we take the last one first? Because with your disdain for gas vehicles, if people were to trade in gas vehicles, what do you do with them? You just drive them off a cliff or something?
There's a market for those. Yeah.
No, well, we have a tradition at Easy Car Sales of having sold pre-owned gas cars for a long time. And despite our best efforts in marketing, people still come to us for some gas cars. So what we have done is we do trade in gas vehicles or hybrids or whatever. We do, because we want to encourage you and help you to go electric. However, we do not finance anymore because the banks are being super cooperative. They have very good rates, very long terms, especially like the BYD has an 8-year warranty for the batteries and the motor. And so they will finance up to 8 years. And some of the banks are financing 100%. So for us to do private lending, it was not competitive. So we encourage people to go to the banks because the banks are lending now for cars. And especially they like the electric cars because they don't, as they get older, they don't have a lot of trouble.
And they have a high resale value. They keep the value longer. And we tell people, look, have the banks fight over you, okay? Because the interest rates are low, 3.9, I heard 4.3. Get the best rate for you.
So now on the other question of the batteries. So we started, as you know, with the Nissan Leaf, and that was already a pre-owned vehicle, and that was really the only thing that was available at the time. We're talking 6-7 years ago. So,
and some of those are still on the road today.
But some of them we have switched the batteries. And what we have done is, because it was an older technology, what we have done is we have people who use the old battery to store solar power. So they're being recycled. But I'm talking about fewer than I can count in one hand. There's not that many. Now, with the new vehicles, all of the batteries are warranted for 5 to 8 years. So I think that we might have had one vehicle that the battery never worked well. Every so often there is a lemon.
You get a lemon, but it's under warranty.
The battery was replaced under warranty. But in general, we have absolutely no problems with the batteries.
And how long does that take to replace it? Do you have it here, or do you have to get it from China?
We do stock. We stock all the replacement parts for our vehicles. And in fact, that's one of the things with introducing this new JAC line. We sent our technicians off. I think they went to Chile.
Chile for 2 weeks.
And they got the best marks, I heard.
Of all of the people trained.
Our Bahamian technicians, so take that.
Yes, so we'll be actually running a little story about that.
Of course, we're so proud of them.
They went to Chile, which is very different from the Bahamas. They did a very intensive, I think it was 2-week course.
Yes.
And they came back not only fully trained by the factory people, but so proud because they excelled. They did so well. So we have.
That's what Bahamians do. I don't know. Yeah, that's what we do.
We have a great team to support these vehicles. So I hope I answered the question.
Yeah. So in addition to the technicians, we have the parts. We are required as a dealership. This is not a fly-by-night thing. We are required by the factory to have these replacement parts on hand on island.
Somebody's asking about that
Yes,
too.
so we do
Body
have
parts
them.
as well. If you get
Have
an
all the
accident,
collision
or do you have
parts.
to wait for it to come from China? Do you?
Well, yes, we try to stock as much of these parts, the parts that are frequently damaged, maybe in accidents.
Mm-hmm.
There are one or two that we may have to, import or
It depends
import.
on
It all
the
depends.
drama involved, right? To what level is the car,
Exactly.
destroyed?
But because as we, service our customers, we allow them to get a loaner, and we try to assist them with their mobility while they're waiting for the car to
Well,
be
this is why
dealt
you
with.
have a dealership, right?
Exactly.
We represent these brands fully, and we're committed to them. So that we have to have expert people, we have to have the parts, we have to have the support, and we have to take care of our customers.
Yeah.
I love running into my customers, okay? I always ask them, how's it going? Oh, fantastic. They love their cars. I never see them. We call them and say, okay, you have to have a checkup.
Bring him
Okay?
in.
Right.
And the first checkup is free on
Right.
top of that. You don't
Oh.
have to pay anything.
Okay.
They still don't even take advantage of that, Dwight.
And they said, no, the car's running great. We don't have to come in. I said,
They don't
"No,
hear
please
anything
come."
knocking.
Oh man, what a great problem to have.
Yeah.
If only. Okay. This text. In a country that has difficulties providing stable electric power, why would you put more strain on an ancient grid with electric vehicles? It's so
Okay,
weird.
We always tell people, look up into the sky. What do you see?
Okay, so
It's the
yes,
sun.
of course, the sun is the best combination, or any renewable source of energy
Exactly, yeah.
is the best combination, and that's the ideal that we're all shooting for.
These are
right?
all solar ready.
We have national goals to increase the renewables in our energy mix. We have goals and we have visions, and it's all happening, and it's going to happen at its own pace in our country. In the meantime, we can't let the perfection get in the way of the possible. What is possible now is to plug in your car once a week or so to the national grid. Now, let me clarify. These cars, when they charge, do use quite a bit of energy at the time of charging. However, over the year, it does not use any more than your air conditioner or your hot water heater. So when people start to be a little patronizing and telling us we can't plug in our cars into an existing grid that really should be functioning, and we want to be functioning, it is not creating a chaos because
No.
it's not using enormous amounts of energy over the period of a year. What are you going to
Exactly.
tell people? Oh, you can't buy another air conditioner, you can't buy another hot water heater.
Or you shouldn't wash your clothes.
Oh, remember that? When we were told we couldn't wash our clothes because we was wasting too much power. Okay, so let me tell you
Could have
something.
been water too, but that's
Exactly.
one of them.
Yeah, so let's say something. There are many benefits to using electricity to power a vehicle. Not only is it cleaner, it's much more efficient. You can go 4 times further on a gallon of gas made into electricity than using it in a car because of wasteful reasons, which we just outlined. It's a much more efficient. It reduces the amount of gas that we're importing in our foreign reserves that we're using. And a huge part of our GDP is spent on gasoline. And you know what? Last year, the world put out more CO2 harmful emissions, carbon dioxide, than ever in our history.
Oh boy.
We have to reverse this trend. And if we have a technology that is more efficient, that is cleaner, that is better and simpler and cheaper for the
And that can work off of renewables as
then
well.
you have to make a transition. I know change can be scary.
Yeah.
But it's not going to, if the grid doesn't work, it isn't because of electric vehicles.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we all can do our part. We could change our light bulbs. We can reduce our consumption of electricity in other ways as well.
Yeah.
To assist in the national, your national grid.
All right, we need to take a break. We've got a whole lot of questions to get to. We're talking with
boy.
Pia Farmer and Sean Grisette with Easy Car Sales. We're going to get back to them in just a bit. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Jack, and don't you come back no more.
What you say?
Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more.
Oh, woman,
Boy, you know what's going down tomorrow?
No, boy, what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school. He could do Junior in.
For what?
Boy, he fooled with Joe girl.
Mother sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you want?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Pen. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Boy, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, how many boys coming for me next?
Alright, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So how did I work?
All you gotta do is call them, or you text them through the Crack Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info, and when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the calls go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them, and they can claim a reward later using that same pen.
Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you're saying.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. This Independence Highlight brought to you by Consumers Choice Auto Parts, Airborne Freight and Cargo Services, Bahama Odds and Ends, Y Cares, The Perfume Bar, and Seafile.
At the birth of the nation on July 10, 1973, March on Bahamaland reverberated among an estimated 60,000 Bahamians gathered on historic Clifford Park as the Bahamian flag rose to mark this country's independence. The country's national anthem was composed by the late Timothy Gibson, who was born in Savannah Sound, Eleuthera, in 1903.
Independence Highlight, brought to you by Consumers Choice Auto Parts, Airborne Freight and Cargo Services, Bahama Odds and Ends, Y Cares, The Perfume Bar, and the Seafile.
Doctors Hospital has reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. We understand that your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnoses and true personalized treatment begins. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshosp.com.
You've tried everything. ASUS with your mother's cousin's sister's auntie, and even hiding your money under your mattress. But is your money safe? Your Bahamian dollar deposit in a member bank or credit union is insured up to $50,000. If anything happens, your deposit up to the insured value will be returned to you thanks to Deposit Insurance. Visit Deposit Insurance Corporation at www.dic.bs.
Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center is here to help small businesses throughout the entire Bahamas. To better serve you, we've made it easier to contact us. Call 461-7232, WhatsApp 359-0626 or 359-2394, email helpdesk@spdcbahamas.com, or submit a ticket when you visit our help center at accessaccelerator.org. The Access Accelerator, empowering small business.
Indulge in an experience that awakens your senses with Nescafe Gold. Premium Arabica coffee beans, carefully selected, roasted to perfection, and finely ground, resulting in a unique and unmatched flavor and aroma that captivates the senses. Enticing aroma, smooth taste. Elevate your coffee experience with Nescafe Gold.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, we got you. Percy's Pension Plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, come play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
Bahamas Games? What was the purpose of the games?
The purpose is twofold. One, to bring Bahamians from throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas together through sports. And the second, to find talented athletes throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas to be trained and possibly make it to the Olympic level.
When the games is?
This July 7th to the 15th.
For more info, call 322-1029.
Tired of paying too many bills and loan payments each month?
Shrink your monthly debt payments down to one easy payment with our debt consolidation loan.
It also has a built-in savings that pays you 5% interest.
Inquire about our debt consolidation loans today.
Call 356-7764.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more.
What you say?
Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more.
We're back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. We've got Pia Farmer and Sean Grisette. They're dancing in the studio. Hit the road in your new jack.
Yes, exactly. And don't you pump gas no more.
Oh, wow.
You don't need to.
All right, so
Gas free.
got a couple of messages. This person says here, I bought a BYD for my wife, and it was a great investment. I wish I could purchase another for myself.
Please
I'm
do.
usually a critic, but BYD is an excellent choice.
Oh,
Wow.
thank you. Listen, our customers, our electric drivers, vehicle drivers, just love their cars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, don't ask us, ask them. They'll tell you.
Chester Robart is rubbing that in people's faces every day.
Chester loves his car.
Yes, he loves his car.
All right, this person says here, I like to hold on to cars for 15 years plus.
Go ahead.
Will the battery last that long?
Yes.
As we explained, the batteries are now being made for the life of a vehicle. And actually, in Car Talk, from what I have learned doing my homework, the lifetime of a vehicle is estimated to be about 14 years. We are confident that the batteries will last as long as your car. Now, when you have a gas car and you've owned it for 15 years, you have probably changed the muffler a few times. You've had to do massive amounts of oil changes, and I don't know what happens in a gas car. You probably had radiator troubles.
Oh, my goodness.
Did your transmission work for 15 years?
Right. Plenty of people have swapped out engines.
It's very difficult to say, this one is going to do better than that one. The vehicles that are electric are made to last as long as the vehicles that are not electric. That's what I will say. The batteries are made to last to run for at least 500,000 miles. So I don't know if you could drive a gas car after 500,000 miles.
Or want to.
Maybe if you've been taking care of it and spending a lot on it, you can. So we are not worried that batteries will last for the life of the vehicle. Now, when batteries have to be replaced for the warranty period, you don't care. And by the time you have to think about changing a battery 8 to 10 years from now, if that happens, the cost of the battery is going to be negligible and it'll be much more efficient than it is today. I cannot predict. Just think when you got the iPhone and everything that's happened since the iPhone. I mean, I couldn't have said to you 12 years from now, you'd be able to talk to people on WhatsApp around the world. I mean, I don't know. But they're made very solidly, very well, and there are cars now on the road that have been on the road for a goodly 8 years to 10 years and still running
Right now, yeah. And not to get too technical, people talk about the battery, but the battery is actually made up of a pack of batteries, or we call them cells. And so very rarely you need to replace all, 200 of those cells? So usually it's a case of finding the errant cell, replacing that, and boom, you're good to go.
Okay.
So it's not one big, solid, huge battery. It's made up of a series of smaller batteries.
Another question about
Bring 'em on.
the cost of a new battery. Ooh.
We don't know because we don't do that on a regular basis, and it's all covered under warranty. And we just started this 3 years ago.
Right. So the people producing the batteries, BYD, for example, is the top battery manufacturer in the world. They will now shortly be providing batteries for Toyota if they're not doing it already.
They're actually doing it for Tesla right now. They're making Tesla batteries.
They are very advanced in their technology. They don't even use cobalt in their batteries anymore. They have
I think they're moving over to sodium soon.
So they're very advanced in their battery technology. The price of batteries in the last 10 years has halved, while the power of that battery to hold energy has multiplied many times. So I cannot say in 10 years where we're going to be with a battery. It may be as small as your cell phone. I don't honestly know because it's moving so quickly. And it's becoming much more efficient and much cheaper all the time. So what percentage of the cost of a new vehicle today is the battery? It probably is a large chunk of the cost
What
of
is
the
the
car
cost of
today.
an engine for a gas car or a transmission?
Or the 1,000 parts that are not in an electric car that are in a gas car, so it's a new thing. An electric car is just a new, much more efficient way to move people and goods around the world.
Simply put, it's a better car.
All right, so this person clearly needs to come out on Saturday.
Yes,
At the
please.
mall, come
Listen
to the mall.
this question. I don't know what they're seeing. Something's question. Why don't they make electric cars look like sense? At least make it look attractive.
Have you seen any?
So I don't think
Have you
they
seen
know
the
what they're
Han?
talking about.
Go to our website, easy242.com. We got pictures.
Yeah, there's lots of different models. You can go to easy242.com. Something, you gotta like something out of
Oh my
the-
God! Talk about a head turner. You drive a Han, and anyway, the
Yeah.
attention you'll be getting.
Yeah, so we have something like 10 different models,
Oh,
so there's some that look ultra
modern,
modern and cool
Sleek.
and different, and other ones that look more traditional. Some of them have 7-seater SUVs that have beautiful lines. Other ones are practical SUVs to get your
They look
job
like
done
normal
and
cars,
get to
some
the
of
job.
them, yeah.
So,
You're probably driving right next to one right now and don't know it.
it's just quiet.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. What is a battery voltage? And if the vehicle was involved in an accident where battery cells are crashed and shorting of fire is very much possible, then what? A battery fire fumes are much hotter and toxic. Water may not be the best agent to extinguish it. Fatality risk would be very high. What happens then?
So we worked with the local first
Fire.
responders, so they're well aware of this. And remember, the same type of technology are in all these hybrids. They got batteries
They
in
have
them
batteries
too.
in them too. But we have to thank the fire department and agents because they reached out to us and we have done
proactive, yeah.
a couple of courses with them.
Okay.
But you have to know that as soon as there is an impact, if it's drastic enough, the whole electrical system is shut off. So it's not that, it's going to be sparkling
Live, yeah.
all over the place or anything like that. And the fire agents are trained, and I'm sure they have received training too for the hybrid batteries
As well,
So I wouldn't let that be my biggest worry. In fact, we've had, unfortunately, people involved in pretty serious accidents in electric cars. And the cars have stood up extremely well. Like their chassis, didn't get all bent out of shape and everything. Some of these cars we have reconstructed.
They can use again.
Are a little scary. But we have not had any such incidents. And the batteries are very well sealed and protected. So, and in the position that they're in, we haven't yet had anything tragic.
Yeah, and it's found that these cars are much safer than the gas equivalent. I don't know, have you seen the story of the Tesla that drove off a cliff with a family in it, and they all survived, and the car just totally was...
Oh, wow, I haven't...
The frame, it was messed up. But because of the structural rigidity of electric cars, they can withstand a wallop. All right?
But don't drive it off a cliff.
We don't want to do that. Please do not do that.
Don't do that.
I'm just saying.
I think that just sort of qualifies more as a miracle than a than a fact.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, the
Now,
dad was arrested.
This is an interesting text. This person, I have a small SUV. I paid $34,000 brand new. I've never changed a part and only spend $40 a month on gas. So that's not much to me to switch over to electric to save $40 per month.
Okay.
Well, I don't know how long ago you bought this SUV, but what do you say to somebody like that?
Have you driven in an electric car?
Mm-hmm.
You would
Okay.
want to dump that quick.
Well, I mean, this person obviously doesn't drive their car a lot, right? And they maintain the car in great shape.
Or on the
and-
streets of Nassau. Are they in where?
You know,
Eleuthero?
so-
Where are they?
I mean, so switching to an electric vehicle, it's not only about the money.
Right.
We talk about the money because that is what's most relevant to most people.
you put
Okay,
the money in,
especially
yeah.
nowadays with everything being, so expensive, and we're
Gas
trying
prices
to
fluctuating,
we're trying to find ways of saving money so that we could repurpose it either for savings or for other expenses that we have. So we talk about money a lot because it is a stark contrast. However, it is also a philosophical and an aspirational
It's about our planet.
choice to say, you know what, this old combustion engine is putting out 4.6 metric tons of harmful CO2 emissions every year. Every year, 4.6 metric tons. It is one of the top 3 highest causes for climate change that is man-made, the man influence on the environment.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just say, well, you know what, I'm just going to drive electric because it's just going to be better for the air that we breathe. That's all. And everything is a choice. You can choose what to do. We just want to give you that choice by offering 10 different models at different price ranges. Because how are we going to change the world if somebody doesn't offer you the product and the support that is accessible to you?
So we encourage you to bring your SUV to the mall this Saturday and test drive our line of electric vehicles. We're going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can ask all the questions you want. You can actually see, touch, and experience these wonderful vehicles. I've been driving one for about 8 years. I will never go back to gas. The drive is just so smooth. The acceleration, the technology, everything about them are just, wonderful.
And you mentioned the JACs are going to be priced a little bit lower than the BYDs. What type of prices are we talking about? People are asking about the price point.
Yes, so the JACs start at about 41,000 plus VAT. And that is a very good price. That would be for like a good size, elegant sedan, or an SUV is just a little bit more. But it is starting to become very competitive with the gas cars. I just saw an ad for another brand SUV, well known, starting at 49. So it's more competitive, let's say. It may not have as many bells and whistles. You know, the BYD, you can talk to it. You can say, BYD.
Turn down the windows.
Yeah, open the skylight or whatever, It may not have all those bells and whistles, but these are solid cars. JAC are known for their commercial vehicles, number 8. Long-lasting, hard-working JAC. I mean, there are some JACs here that are diesel already. But they're transitioning now to new energy vehicles. So they're priced a little bit below the BYD to give more options.
They still have technology. I mean, they even come with CarPlay built in, Apple CarPlay, Android Audio. Yes, they come all built in with CarPlay. They all come with most of them with a jack and a spare tire. Most new vehicles.
A lot don't. We're laughing.
They give you that tire inflation kit, but these are more practical, well-priced, solid vehicles.
Solid vehicles.
All right, so this is interesting. We're running out of time, but this person here says, are there any electric vehicles that they can bring in under 12,000? What? Many would love to switch, but paying for brand new rides, electric or not, won't hit the majority here. But I mean, there's very little anywhere that's under 12,000.
Right.
Try to find them,
This is the thing, is that, right now what we have are new cars. And most of us, and me included, I generally in my life never bought a new car. I used to buy pre-owned cars.
Right.
So right now we have really new vehicles with a very small amount of pre-owned vehicles that we could offer.
Right.
We are every day growing the pool of electric vehicles that one day will become available to buy as a second-hand or pre-owned vehicle. You can buy pre-owned older electrical vehicles from overseas and bring them in. We don't encourage it. We understand why people do it, but we don't encourage it only because you have to be very wise when you bring in a second-hand electric car. You have to know what condition, how many bars are there on your battery, like how used is that battery, how old is that
and
battery.
And whether the brand is supported.
Whether the brand is supported. We can support BYD, JAC, and somewhat the Nissan Leaf pre-owned vehicles. But you have to think about, when you bring in a Tesla, for example, which is definitely not going to cost you $12,000.
No.
But let's say you bring in it, because you see Teslas around. Because it's the only game in town in the United States right now, really, is Tesla. There is very little support locally. You have to really bring somebody in to take care of the Teslas. You don't have parts.
We've heard you
don't
have to ship it out.
In some cases,
we've
yes,
had to help some people ship out.
You've had to help.
Well, help them out.
Okay.
Strategically help them out.
Oh my.
But no, it's fine. We want people to drive electric. Okay, that's our
But
motivation.
be smart about it. Be smart and be sensible about it.
You have to be cautious about buying a pre-owned electric vehicle. Get somebody to check it out and give you all the information before you do it.
Yeah.
But we understand why you want to do it
Yeah.
because it's so much better ride afterwards. But don't bring in something too old, something that is not being maintained, something that can't be supported locally. It's a little difficult.
Yeah. All right. So really quickly, less than 30 seconds. Remind people Saturday what time, what's going to be happening.
We are going to be there all day from 10 to about 4. We're going to be offering vehicles for test drive. Our entire staff is going to be there to answer questions. You'll be able to touch, go inside, sit down, feel the leather. You know, get familiar with the vehicles, take it on a test drive.
At the mall at
Marathon. Everybody knows where that is. This Saturday.
Okay.
Yes.
And then check out our website.
Yes.
Easy242.com. You can see everything there.
Okay.
And drive electric Bahamas and happy independence,
Yes.
okay?
Free yourself from that gas.
Happy independence, Bahamas. Let's become independent from these fossil fuels,
Okay.
in the
There
next 50 years.
Hit the
Thanks.
road.
Thank you so much. Peter Farmer, Sean Grisette, thank you for being here with us this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
And Laverne Gardner, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Always a pleasure.
We'll talk again on Thursday. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio, 96.9 Guardian Radio, and Morning Blend Business brought to you in part by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Pick up today's Guardian Business section for the latest in business news. And don't forget the Grand Bahama supplement in today's NASA Guardian, the 50th anniversary of Independence Special Guardian. I've got 2 more for you tomorrow and Thursday. So don't miss that this week. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more.
What you say?
Hit the road, Jack.